This statement shook the entire world. The vastness and mysteries of space make us question whether life exists only on Earth or somewhere else in the cosmos. In a Peruvian mine, two clearly non-human extraterrestrial bodies were discovered with an estimated age of 1,000 years. Preserved in a fossilized state, these mummified specimens had small bodies with three-fingered hands and elongated skulls, resembling something between a human and an extraterrestrial being from the movie Aliens.
Damn!
What made it even more intriguing was that their interval cavities supposedly contained implants made of rare metals and egg cells. The aliens were officially presented in the Mexican Congress on September 12, 2023, during historic hearings organized by the Science and Technology Committee of the Mexican Chamber of Deputies.
Oh my God! Wow!
The event included reports from various UFO experts and witnesses. Among them was former US Navy pilot Ryan Graves, known for his statements about frequent sightings of unidentified anomalous phenomena over US military facilities and ranges, which, as he expressed, demonstrate exceptional capabilities. He stated that we do not know who they are and cannot explain their presence. Graves pointed out that about 50 to 60 people who served with him in 2014 to 2015 could confirm observations of these objects. In his statements, the military pilot also claimed that unidentified anomalous phenomena are a matter of national security and more data needs to be collected. However, many critics expressed dissatisfaction with the hearings, as the main focus was on two alleged extraterrestrial bodies presented by Jaime Maussan, a Mexican journalist and ufologist with a decade of experience in UFO research and reporting. During the public hearings, Mr. Maussan showcased several videos of UFOs and unidentified anomalous phenomena to US officials and members of the Mexican government before revealing the alleged bodies of space aliens. Two tiny alien bodies were displayed for everyone to see in boxes with windows. These beings are not related to findings after UFO crashes, Maussan stated. He added, whether they're extraterrestrials or not, we do not know, but they were intelligent and lived among us. They must change our history. We're not alone in the vast universe, and we need to accept this reality. With these words, he concluded his report.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
The journalist told politicians that the strange small alien remains were discovered in the city of Cusco, Peru in 2017. He swore that approximately 1/3 of their DNA is unknown and the samples are not related to earthly evolution. Maussan also reported that the discovered samples were studied and dated using radiocarbon analysis by scientists from the National Autonomous University of Mexico, confirming their age of over 1,000 years. The director of the Scientific Institute of the Mexican Navy's Health Department also confirmed X-ray examinations, 3D reconstructions, and DNA analysis of the remains. He claimed that these bodies have no relation to the human species. Representatives of the Mexican Congress stated that the presentation raised many thoughts and concerns, expressing their intention to continue discussing this. The first UFO hearing in the country was proclaimed by Mexican politician Sergio Gutierrez Luna, who is a friend of Maussan. He stated that this could lead to the adoption of legislation on unidentified aerial phenomena. So, what is the truth? The fundamental problem with Maussan's claims is that these so-called extraterrestrial mummies had already been debunked by scientists 2 years before he presented them to the Mexican Congress. A team of experts from the YouTube channel Scientists Against Myths, led by Alexander Sokolov, found that the bodies were actually made up of a mixture of human and animal bones. In one sample, a thigh bone was found where a shoulder bone should have been. The head allegedly was created from the back of a llama or alpaca skull. The team claimed that the facial part of the skull was broken off, leaving only the brain shell. It was then unfolded to form the front part of the alien head. Comparison shows that the reptilian skull cavity perfectly matches the llama's skull cavity. Sokolov explained in his 2021 documentary on YouTube. He also claimed that the placement of olfactory bulbs, inner ear, cerebral hemispheres, and cerebellum precisely corresponds to the llama's skull. The oddities don't end here. Researchers reported that a thigh bone in one of the samples turned out to be human but was placed upside down. Another thigh bone was a large tibia bone from the lower part of a human leg. This makes the alien incapable of walking. Additionally, several fingers of the creature were inverted. Juliet Farrow, a scientific researcher at the Institute of Astronomy in Mexico, expressed skepticism about some details related to the alleged alien bodies in researchers' statements. Farrow also questioned the use of X-rays to determine whether the bodies are non-human. In her speech, Juliet stated that Maussan made many strange claims. For example, he told me he spoke with a Guadalupean goddess, said the scientist. He told me that aliens don't talk to me the way they talk to him because I don't believe in them. The well-known internet portal Vox also published an article debunking the version of the Mexican alien mummy. The article directly states that these extraterrestrial remains were likely a hoax, created using a combination of human remains from the pre-Columbian era and animal bones bound together with gypsum.
What?
Such hoaxes contribute to erasing the achievements of pre-Columbian cultures and perpetuating racist myths, the blog author of the portal criticized. The article also mentions the practice of skull deformation in South American indigenous cultures, wrongly interpreted as evidence of extraterrestrial influence. In fact, these skulls were discovered in 1928 in the Paracas region in southern Peru during excavations of a communal grave containing over 300 similar bodies. Archaeologist Julio Tello, who made the discovery, believed that the bodies belonged to an ancient Paracas culture. However, debates surrounding the skulls and their elongated shapes, as well as assumptions of their non-human or extraterrestrial origin, continue to obscure the facts about the Paracas culture. What we know for sure is that skull deformation, where heads of children were intentionally shaped into elongated forms from birth, was a widespread practice throughout Peru and many other cultures worldwide. As the Mummy Committee states, this practice contributed to the misconception that South American indigenous people could not be responsible for their own greatness. Now that the debunked trick has promoted Peruvian officials to investigate, they're interested in how the samples, which are earthly objects, left the country and came into Maussan's possession. The Minister of Culture of Peru does not understand how objects she termed pre-Hispanic left Peru and announced filing a criminal complaint. However, Maussan is unconcerned. He claims that he has not committed any unlawful actions. However, he cannot answer the question of how the bodies originally arrived in Mexico, but promises to reveal everything in due time. As for the investigation of the alien bones in the Mexican university, the university stated that it only conducted radiocarbon analysis on the provided sample and never issued conclusions about its origin. Also, the DNA analysis results that Maussan provided do not prove extraterrestrial origin. In each of the three samples, the result indicates that the sample was Homo sapiens. So, who is this Mexican UFO journalist and investigator? Maussan has a certain reputation as a hoaxer and deceiver. Maussan was once the host of several conspiracy theory-based TV shows, including Third Millennium for the Mexican channel Azteca. The so-called journalist investigator became the subject of a documentary investigation film titled Maussan's UFO Files in 2019. After watching it, his journalistic credentials seem scarce.
No! God, please, no! No!
Neither the discoveries he claims to have made in the name of pseudoscience nor the UFO hoaxes he defended and allegedly began investigating in 1990 have any scientific value and were only made for commercial gain.
Oh! Ew! Dude!
This was the conclusion reached by the creators of the documentary. Maussan has made several numerous pseudoscientific discoveries and gained fame through them, capitalizing on them. For example, he presented a strange creature called the creature from Metapec, which turned out to be a monkey with its skin and ears removed, placed in fluids from various animals.
I feel good.
The Roswell Slides are images that a group of UFO propagandists, including Jay Maussan, presented at an event on May 5, 2015 in Mexico City as positive evidence of an extraterrestrial catastrophe in Roswell in 1947 and the retrieval and cover-up of alien bodies by the US government. These claims, which most of the mentioned group advocated for over 2 years, repeatedly asserted that the best experts they could find had examined the slides and determined that they depicted a creature of extraterrestrial origin. The key to solving the mystery was in the play card seen on the slides in front of the body. The play card, as assured by the so-called promoters of the UFO slides, could not be deciphered by anyone despite careful examination. However, a member of the debunking group using commercially available computer software managed to significantly improve the blurry text.
Hacker Man. He's the most powerful hacker of all time.
Other group members helped narrow down the words. The first line was most clearly defined and read as, "Mummified body of 2-year-old boy." There are no reasonable doubts that this is the true and correct text. The other 3 lines of text are more difficult to decipher, but they seem to say something like, "Mummified body of 2-year-old boy." At the time of burial, the body was dressed in a cotton shirt, some size. Burial wraps consisted of 3 small cotton blankets, provided by Mr. XXX, San Francisco, California. The whole process took only a few hours, which is significantly different from the years of research claimed by the promoters of the slides. The fact that the promoters did not publish scans of the slides in proper high resolution complicated the work, but ultimately deciphering the key parts of the image was still relatively easy. The mystery of the play card is solved, as is the nature of the body. It was a boy from Earth. In 2016, a sensation hunter claims to have discovered a demonic fairy, which turned out to be a concoction of bats, wooden sticks, invisible epoxy resin, and other items designed to deceive. This was revealed only after he sold it for $10,000. Maussan was also included in the Hall of Shame of UFO observers for repeated false claims related to UFOs and attempts at fraud.
Wait a minute! Who are you?
The next expose occurred in 2017 when experts shown 6 mummies in Peru found a local patient in a cave near the famous Nazca Plateau. This proximity added mystery to the story, already tinged with the supernatural. The presented remains looked remarkably strange. Here's why. Each mummy had 3 disproportionately long fingers in both hands and feet. One mummy, named Maria, belonged to an adult woman, another to a baby girl named Wawida, and the remaining 4 mummies represented humanoid figures about 70 centimeters tall. However, an almost official conclusion about these 3-fingered mummies soon emerged. It was a kind of memorandum that the majority of participants at the 9th Annual Mummy Research Congress in Peru accepted by majority vote. This document even had a name reflecting its essence: fraud with alien mummies. The memorandum states that alien mummies were created in recent times from real ancient remains of adults, children, and animals. Congress members believe that such forgeries undermine the authority of archaeological science, especially in Peru, and cast a shadow on the achievements of pre-Columbian civilizations in America. The document also suggests that these forgeries led to the idea that aliens constantly intervened in the course of history. Cults even appeared online to find the hoaxers and hold them criminally responsible. After the Mexican ufologist presented his latest so-called discoveries to the Congress in Mexico, some scientists rushed to suggest that the samples were actually human remains intentionally processed and disfigured for commercial use. Meanwhile, hoaxers like Mozan seem entirely undeterred by all this negative reaction. Perhaps they're just trying to create a version of reality that aligns with the one they want to live in. A world filled with aliens and demon fairies. But if this is the form that modern myth-making takes, it might require more than a bit of epoxy resin and a distorted llama skull to create the miracle we want to see in the world. The greatest irony in all of this is that the world we erase and obscure when we fixate on aliens is already more wondrous than we can fully grasp.